You must have heard of Veerappan's name. Even today, discussions about Veerappan's crimes and fear continue. Veerappan was so ruthless that the governments of 3 states spent hundreds of crores to catch him. More than 100 police officers lost their lives. Veerappan wiped out elephants and sandalwood from the forests of several states. He also kidnapped a major film star and politician and made crores of rupees in ransom. The government placed a reward of crores on Veerappan's head to catch him. Yet, Veerappan successfully evaded capture for years. So how did Veerappan manage to spread terror for so many years? What are some of his famous crimes? Which actor and minister did Veerappan kidnap? And how did he eventually get caught? Let's find out everything in this video. Before knowing the full story of Veerappan, make sure to subscribe. Friends, he was famous in the criminal world by the name of Veerappan, but his full name was Muniswamy Veerappan. Veerappan was born on January 18, 1952, in the village of Gopinath, which was then part of the Madras state. This village now falls under the Chamarajanagar district of Karnataka. Veerappan entered the world of crime at a very young age. In fact, Veerappan's uncle was known as an elephant tusk smuggler at that time. Veerappan joined his uncle and began hunting elephants to smuggle their tusks. For many years, Veerappan worked alongside his uncle, but after a dispute, he parted ways and started his own business of hunting elephants and smuggling tusks. It is said that Veerappan killed not 100 or 200, but nearly 2,000 to 3,000 elephants. Due to his terror, elephants were almost wiped out from the forests of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Apart from smuggling elephant tusks, Veerappan also ventured into the smuggling of sandalwood and quickly became not only the biggest smuggler in his area, but the largest sandalwood smuggler in India. When Veerappan, he begins killing elephants. After careful planning, a forest officer succeeds in arresting Veerappan. The first official arrest of Veerappan occurred when he was 17 years old, in 1972. The police managed to arrest Veerappan, but he doesn't remain in their custody for long and soon escapes. He then continues committing crimes with even more vigor. Not only that, after escaping police custody, Veerappan commits his first murder at the age of 17. This murder was of the police officer who had arrested him for the first time. Some claims suggest that Veerappan committed his first murder at the age of 10. After his first murder, Veerappan starts killing everyone he suspects of being a police informant. During this time, police officers trying to capture him also lose their lives. Veerappan's crime spree keeps growing day by day. In 1987, a forest officer named Chidambaram devises a plan to capture Veerappan. Somehow, Veerappan gets wind of this, and before Chidambaram can arrest him, Veerappan kidnaps him and eventually kills him. This was the first time Veerappan gained media attention on a national level. As Veerappan's terror escalates, the responsibility of capturing him is handed over to Senior IFS Officer P. Srinivasan. It is said that P. Srinivasan, after careful planning, finally manages to capture Veerappan. However, Veerappan was so cunning that, as P. Srinivasan was transporting him to jail, Veerappan told the police around him that he had a severe headache and needed oil for his head. The police, without thinking much, gave him the oil. However, Veerappan cleverly rubbed the oil on his hands, not his head, and discreetly slipped out of his handcuffs, successfully escaping police custody. Veerappan was so furious at being captured by Srinivasan that he swore to kill him. He then devises a plan with his younger brother Arjunan to trick Srinivasan into thinking Veerappan wanted to surrender. Arjunan contacts Srinivasan and convinces him that Veerappan intends to surrender. P. Srinivasan, falling for the trick, goes to apprehend Veerappan. But when they finally face each other in 1991, Veerappan shoots and kills Srinivasan. Even after killing Srinivasan, Veerappan doesn't feel at peace. He crosses all boundaries of cruelty by decapitating Srinivasan's head and playing football with it with his associates. The news of Veerappan's horrific act shocks everyone. Many police officers try relentlessly to capture him, but Veerappan remains elusive, continuing his smuggling of elephant tusks and sandalwood. As his terror grows, Veerappan becomes involved in kidnapping. While he had been involved in smaller kidnappings for a while, in 1991, he kidnaps the son of a major granite mine owner in Karnataka and demands a ransom of 1 crore rupees. After several rounds of negotiation, Veerappan releases the businessman's son in exchange for 15 lakh rupees. By this time, Both the Tamil Nadu and Karnataka governments are desperate to capture Veerappan, so a special task force is formed, solely tasked with his capture. After the murder of P. Srinivasan, senior IPS officer T. Harikrishna takes on the responsibility of capturing Veerappan. He begins keeping a close watch on Veerappan. Veerappan gets wind of this as well, and in August 1992, he sets a trap. He also murders Officer T. Krishna. Sometime later, Veerappan attacks a large police officer named Shakil Ahmed in the station and kills him along with 5 other police officers. The news of the murder of an IPS officer causes a stir at the administrative level, and new plans are made to capture Veerappan. Under this new plan, instead of the police, the Border Security Force BSF is given the responsibility of capturing Veerappan. Several BSF soldiers are stationed in the forests of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. However, as time passes, the BSF faces significant difficulties due to the local language. In the meantime, Veerappan and his team members kill more than 20 BSF soldiers at different times. Eventually, due to opposition from the Tamil Nadu government, the BSF is removed from the forests. After the BSF, the responsibility of capturing Veerappan is taken by an officer named Gopal Krishna. Veerappan learns that Gopal Krishna is now responsible for capturing him, which angers him greatly. On the morning of April 9th, 1993, Veerappan has a poster made near Kolhapur village, filled with abusive language aimed at Gopal Krishna. Besides the insults, in the poster, Veerappan also challenges Gopal Krishna, saying, "If you have the guts, come catch me." Apart from the poster, Veerappan also kills a nearby civilian suspected of being a police informer. After the news of the poster and murder, Gopal Krishna sets out with his entire team to catch Veerappan, heading toward the forest as indicated by the informer. This time, Gopal Krishna was traveling with 43 police officers to capture Veerappan. As soon as Gopal Krishna's convoy was a little far, his tongue became impaired upon reaching Palar Bridge. Because of this, Gopal Krishna gets off and boards a police bus. This bus also contains 15 informers, 4 police officers, and 2 forest guards, along with Gopal Krishna. Behind this bus, there was another bus, where Tamil Nadu Police Inspector Ashok Kumar and 6 other officers were sitting. Veerappan's informer network was so strong that he learns about Gopal Krishna's plans. Therefore, Veerappan sets a trap, laying explosives on the road, waiting for Gopal Krishna and his team. Therefore, Veerappan sets a trap, laying explosives on the road, waiting for Gopal Krishna and his team. As soon as Veerappan spots Gopal Krishna and his team, he signals for the blast. Immediately, one of Veerappan's companions detonates the explosives. The explosion is so powerful that it completely destroys the bus, and the bodies of all 22 people inside are blown into the air. Gopal Krishna and all the police officers and informers are killed in an instant. This was the first time that Veerappan had killed so many people at once. The news causes a sensation throughout the country. Once again, the governments of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala begin planning to capture Veerappan. The Special Task Force, which was formed in 1992, resumes planning to capture Veerappan. Apart from spreading terror in the jungle, Veerappan also got married. Reports suggest that in 1990, he married a woman named Muthu Lakshmi. After the events of 1993, after the police made a thorough plan, they finally succeeded in arresting Veerappan's wife, Muthu Lakshmi. She was accused of assisting Veerappan. In addition, several other charges were filed against her, and infer was lodged. However, later on, Muthu Lakshmi was released after being cleared of all charges. Meanwhile, Veerappan remained out of the police's reach and continued his activities, such as killing elephants, smuggling sandalwood, and murdering both police officers and common people according to his will. Though Veerappan was still carrying out these crimes, fear of the police had begun to settle in his mind. This was evident when, in 1992, Veerappan's daughter was born. Initially, he took great care of her, but when she would cry at night, the sound of her crying echoed far into the forest. Veerappan began to fear that the police might trace him by the sound of the crying. As a result, one night, he strangled his daughter and killed her. In 1993, the decomposed body of his daughter was found in a forest in Karnataka. In 1993, and again in 1994, Veerappan killed several police officers. In 1995, he kidnapped 3 forest officers, and in 1996, he was involved in an encounter that led to the deaths of at least 19 police officers. In the same year, the police arrested Veerappan's brother, Arjunan, in an attempt to find him. Arjunan allegedly committed suicide in police custody. To avenge this, Veerappan killed a police officer and a constable. The next year, Veerappan kidnapped several police officers, journalists, and photographers. Some were killed, while others were released after encounters with the police. From the 1990s onwards, Veerappan continued kidnapping people for money. Allegedly, several times, the government paid ransom money unofficially to him. One of his most infamous kidnappings took place on June 30th, 2000, when Veerappan kidnapped Kannada cinema's superstar Rajkumar. The situation was so serious that it was comparable to the fame of Amitabh Bachchan in Hindi cinema. The news of Rajkumar's kidnapping caused chaos in Karnataka, and large-scale protests broke out. Violent incidents were reported from Bengaluru and other areas. When the situation began to spiral out of control, the Karnataka government contacted the Tamil Nadu government for help. A journalist was assigned to negotiate with Veerappan for Rajkumar's release. Veerappan demanded that the Tamil Nadu government prioritize its interests in the Koveri water dispute, and that Tamil be granted the status of the second official language in Karnataka. He also demanded the release of certain prisoners from Tamil Nadu's jails. After several rounds of negotiations, Rajkumar was finally released after 108 days. Initially, the government denied paying any ransom, but it was later revealed that the Karnataka government had paid 20 crore rupees as ransom. After this kidnapping, Veerappan's next major abduction occurred in 22. On August 25, 22, he kidnapped former Karnataka Minister H. Nagappa, who had served from 1996 to 1999. Veerappan allegedly demanded a large sum of money for Nagappa's release. This time, the government refused to pay. The Karnataka police, working with the Tamil Nadu and Kerala police, launched a joint operation against Veerappan. In the subsequent encounter, the police failed to rescue Nagappa, and 3 months later, Nagappa's body was found in a forest in Karnataka. After Nagappa's murder, the Karnataka government announced a reward of Rupee 50 crore for Veerappan's capture. As Veerappan's terror escalated, Tamil Nadu's then Chief Minister Jayalalitha decided to create a special task force STF in June 2001, with senior IPS officer Vijay Kumar at the helm. She instructed him to eliminate Veerappan at any cost. By this time, over 100 police officers had lost their lives in the efforts to capture him, and the governments of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka had already spent over Rupee 100 crore. Vijay Kumar began planning the operation to catch Veerappan. He realized that Veerappan's biggest strength was his network of informants. Veerappan had agents in both the general public and the police force. Anyone was willing to work for him in exchange for a large reward. Vijay Kumar decided to infiltrate Veerappan's gang by sending undercover police officers. These officers gathered crucial information, which was passed to the police in complete secrecy. Veerappan often gave interviews and used to send his recorded audio and videotapes to media outlets. This was because Veerappan had a great fondness for publicity. Vijay Kumar, upon analyzing Veerappan's interviews in depth, notices in one of them that Veerappan seems to be having some difficulty holding a piece of paper. When experts and doctors are consulted, they suspect that there might be an issue with his eye. After this, police officers who were part of Veerappan's gang, after gaining his trust, tell him that he needs to get his eye treated immediately. Otherwise, the issue could escalate. Eventually, Veerappan agrees to go for treatment. However, fearing recognition, he decides to change his appearance. Veerappan loved his mustache very much, but to avoid being identified, he decides to shave it off. Following a well-laid plan, Veerappan, along with 3 of his companions, leaves the jungle and reaches a main road. He then boards an ambulance that was waiting there. This ambulance had been placed there by the police officers who were part of Veerappan's gang. Veerappan doesn't have any clue that the driver of the ambulance is also a police officer. Veerappan and his companions sit in the ambulance, which starts speeding ahead. Everything had been planned in advance. As they reach the location where Vijay Kumar and his team were lying in ambush, the driver suddenly stops the ambulance and jumps out, running in the opposite direction. Then, a voice comes from the other side. Veerappan, the police have surrounded you from all sides. It's better if you surrender. In response, gunfire erupts from inside the ambulance. As soon as the firing begins, the police outside start firing wildly, and this continues for the next 20 minutes. According to reports, the police fired 338 rounds in these 20 minutes. After a while, when the firing from inside the ambulance stops and no further activity is detected, Vijay Kumar and his team enter the ambulance. They find Veerappan and his 3 companions dead. For confirmation, their bodies are sent to the nearby hospital via the ambulance. At the hospital, Veerappan and his gang are declared dead. Though Veerappan and his gang's chapter may have closed, his family still remains. You will be surprised to know that Veerappan had 2 daughters. One of them, Vidya Rani, joined the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP in 2020, and soon after, she was made the vice president of the BJP youth wing. Many people criticized the BJP's decision to bring Veerappan's daughter into the party. Overall, Veerappan killed around 180 people during his life, most of them police officers. He was also accused of the murder of over 2,000 to 3,000 elephants. Additionally, Veerappan accumulated wealth worth nearly 50 crores through sandalwood smuggling. When adjusted for today's values, the cost to capture Veerappan was around 50 crores. As for the reward money offered by the Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala governments for his capture, today, it would exceed 50 crores. Friends, after knowing this entire story, what would you like to say? Please share your thoughts in the comment box. If you liked our effort, don't forget to like and share the video. For more crime-related stories, stay connected for more. Thank you.